Well, after yesterday's historic launch that we all witnessed, the Artemis II astronauts aboard the now Earth orbiting Orion space capsule are making final checks before they head to the moon. But Channel 2's Ron Plants reports tonight that aerospace engineers right here in Western New York are also focused on their blazing return to Earth with a safety margin involved.
There are people on board this thing. The risk is a lot higher.
Aerospace engineer Tim Wadhams of Kubrick, the Calspan UB Research Center in Cheektowaga, reminding us that even after that spectacular but fiery launch,
booster ignition,
the mission danger level actually just as high for the re-entry phase, when the Orion crew capsule plunges back into Earth's atmosphere for that hopeful safe splashdown in the Pacific Ocean on April 10th. Now, sadly, Kubrick, with its huge wind tunnels, used a metal space shuttle scale model to understand the 2003 Columbia space shuttle reentry tragedy, and they were tasked by NASA for the same, with a model of the Orion capsule to see how its heat shield would withstand up to 5,000 degree heat, with friction, shockwave energy, even plasma gases building up around the capsule as it cuts through the upper atmosphere.
We are very careful about how we calibrate and how we check uncertainties and all those kinds of things to make sure that the data that we produce is going to be able to validate that design so that everyone is confident that Orion's going to make it back to the atmosphere.
But during the re-entry of the uncrewed Orion in the first Artemis test flight in November-December 2022, a major safety issue emerging as seen in images with chunks of that protective heat shield torn away. So NASA coming back to Kubrick for more testing in 2023 and 2024.
They got more removal of the heat shield than they expected. They did a very extensive test here following the reentry of Artemis I. The design of the heat shield changed several times, particularly how the capsule is attached to the launch vehicle, to the rocket.
So research and a relationship at Kubrick.
Actually, the commander of this mission, Reed Weissman, is actually a friend of mine. We graduated from college together. You think back, like, did we do all this testing right? Did we cross all the T's and dot all the I's to make sure that the data that we produced was, of the highest quality, so that NASA and its contractors can have confidence that this is going to work? And the answer is yes.
On your side, Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Ron. And new tonight, live at 5, Moog and Elma is celebrating its role in NASA's Artemis II launch. The Western New York company says its actuation and motion control technologies were essential parts of the rocket. Moog's thrust vector control systems helped to steer the rocket as it rose through the atmosphere, and its launch abort system was a critical safety component on board.
It's a little nerve-wracking. You're excited. You're watching that flight and the launch. But, once we see that it's, in the right trajectory, up heading towards space, we feel pretty good.
Yeah, Moog also built launch pad components to ensure the rocket could safely lift off.